Not everyone who loves you wants you to succeed. That is an ugly sentence, but sometimes it's true. Have you ever decided that you're going to change something about your life? Lose weight, go back to school, save money, get healthier. And then someone that's close to you seems weirdly invested in you not succeeding? Maybe it's little comments, maybe it's things that they tempt you with that you're trying to avoid, or every step forward gets met with a joke, a little eye roll, or some reason that you're going to probably fail anyway. And here's the uncomfortable part. Sometimes people who love us don't actually want us to change because our growth makes them uncomfortable where we're standing. So today I'm going to be playing with the Natasha Denona Golden Palette, and we're going to put on some makeup, we're going to discuss, and we're going to talk about the people in our lives that would really prefer us standing beside them, even if they're in their little bucket of suck. Hi, I'm Andi, and I'm really happy that you're here. I have my hair pinned back kind of weird because it was wash day and I just diffused my hair and I don't want to mess up my curl pattern. Usually I will do this after I do my makeup, but I'm not going to have my towel in my head while I'm doing my makeup. First thing I want to talk about is the crabs in a bucket theory. Have you heard of the crabs in the bucket theory? It states, a metaphor for a toxic social behavior. If I can't have it, neither can you. It describes when people try to pull down or stop anyone in their group who starts to succeed or improve out of jealousy, fear, or belief that success is limited. That basically encompasses everything that I'm going to talk about. There are people in our lives who are sitting at our table, so to speak, that don't want you to succeed. And that is a really heartbreaking reality. That is a really disturbing reality when you realize that someone who you love, and this could be friends, this could be family, but someone that you love, someone that you trust with your peace, that they do not have your best interest at heart. Now, I have done a couple of videos on protecting your peace, on teaching people how to treat you. This goes a little bit more into the people that surround us that try to sabotage your success. And that could be weight loss. It could be, or not even weight loss, just deciding to become healthy. That could be a new job. That could be really anything, a hobby that you want to take a little bit further than just being a hobby. One of the ways that I noticed it in my own life is when I decided to get healthy. When I decided to start a health journey that is going to prolong my life. I have in my family, I have heart disease, I have diabetes. In my family, I don't personally have those, but in my family, there is heart disease, there is diabetes, basically a lot of unhealthy symptoms of things. So when I reached 300 pounds, I decided that I wanted to be around for a while. I wanted to watch my daughter grow up. I wanted to watch my grandchildren grow up. So I set out on a health journey and I did so much research on what is going to work for me, because believe me, I did the Weight Watchers, I did the crash diets, I did the liquid diets, I did pretty much every fad diet out there, and nothing stuck. I would have success for a while. And this whole video is not going to be about weight loss. I'm just using this as an example of my own thing. There are people out there, hopefully in your circle, you have people out there that are your biggest cheerleaders, and they're going to help you in any shape, form, way possible. But there are also going to be people in your life, co-workers, family members, friends, people who you thought were some of your best friends, and they're not going to want you to succeed because they are content with being in their, what I like to call, their bucket of suck. And that could be any kind of unhealthy habits. We are all addicts of something. We all have addictions to something. Mine is food. So I am an all or nothing person. I can't just have a piece of cake. I can't just have a donut. I can't just have pizza and then go right back. I am an addict and I will self-sabotage all the time. But when I am in the zone, it is my all or nothing mentality. I avoid everything that is going to bring me down. I avoid everything that's going to sabotage my success, my progress. When people notice that you are doing something different, when people notice that you are taking care of yourself or you are making like progress in your goals, they don't like that. They want you to be down in the bucket of suck with them. Misery loves company. And they're going to do everything that they can to get you to fail. Basically, they're going to do everything they can to get you to fail. And that is offering you food. In my case, we're at a party, birthday party, whatever. Hey, Andi, do you want a piece of cake? Oh, just one little piece of cake won't hurt you. Yes, actually it will. Because I'm an addict. Yes, it will. And so, these are family members that love you. I said to my dad one time, my dad was a big supporter of mine, but he didn't understand. Like, my dad never had to really watch what he ate. Oh, one piece of cake won't hurt you. And I said, Dad, if I was an alcoholic or if I was addicted to narcotics, would you tell me that one little one wouldn't hurt me? No, because that's ridiculous. You wouldn't do that. But people don't like when you are abstaining from the things that they like. They're going to tell you that you're wrong or that everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. No, not in my instance. And you, as my loved one, as my friend, need to respect that. The amount of friends that I've had, friends in the past, that I've had that have tried to get me to do something that was not in my best interest for my goals because they were doing it and they felt guilty about what they were doing and they wanted someone else in there to do it with them. Well, if you love someone, if you are a friend to someone, if you are their cheerleader, you're not going to tempt them to do something that they shouldn't be doing. Also, when you tell someone a certain way that you are eating, they're all of a sudden experts. They know everything about that. Really, they're sitting in their bucket of suck. But they're going to tell you that by the way you're eating, you're going to die. That's going to kill you. Your body cannot sustain that. Well, you know what, Linda? My body can't sustain 2 donuts every morning either. But, you know what I'm saying? They're all of a sudden so worried about your health as they're shoving the donuts at you. And that actually happens. I mean, that actually happened to me. I'm sorry, what? So that just told me that that person did not want me to succeed because they are miserable in their own lives and they want someone else to be there miserable with them. You know, I've done a couple of videos talking about comments on videos, and this goes way beyond that. These are your trusted loved ones, your trusted people. And it comes down to the fact that you have to surround yourself with people that have your best interest at heart. They want you to succeed no matter what. And anyone else does not deserve a place at your table. And that, honestly, that could be your mother, that could be your husband or your wife. And when it's someone that's that close to you, that's really disheartening because you realize but they don't want you to succeed. And when it's someone that is that close to you, and you, like I said, you come to the realization, then you need to make a decision on your own. First, you need to talk to that person, because maybe they don't realize how important this is to you. You need to have a conversation with them, and you need to tell them, hey, this is really important to me that I succeed at this. Your support would be amazing. I would appreciate your support so much. Even if you don't agree with me, your support is very important to me. And the people in your life that actually love you and want you to succeed will change their behavior. They will they will support you. And, okay, say for instance, it's a husband or a wife, and you are on a weight loss journey or a health journey, and they always suggest, hey, let's get pizza. Hey, let's get tacos. Hey, let's get whatever. That is not supporting you. But that is where you have to have the hard conversation with them. You have to have a conversation, because maybe they don't realize they're doing it. And while ignorance is not always a good excuse, you need to allow them to take the time. You need to allow them to have the opportunity to change their behavior. Because again, they may not know what they're doing. They may not even realize that they're sabotaging you. It could be, if it's a husband or a parent or a child, even a grown adult, because you can't hold your children to that same thing, because they're kids. They don't understand. But like adult children, if you have adult children, you need to give them the opportunity to correct their behavior. They just want to see you happy. And in their mind, okay, so me, for instance, pizza is my favorite food. So my partner would sometimes say, hey, let's get a pizza, because he knew that would make me happy. Food makes me happy. So I'm the person in the restaurant that takes the bite and does a little dance because it's so good. So food makes me happy. And so he just wanted me to be happy. But when we had the conversation, the hard conversation, because he's not psychic, sometimes they don't know what they're doing, and they don't know what you're thinking. So the hard conversation needs to happen. And you need to give them, if they are a loved one, if they are someone that you genuinely care about and you want them in your life, you need to give them the opportunity to change their behavior. Now, if you've had that conversation and they're still trying to sabotage, well, then there's something, then you need to have the conversation with yourself. Does this person deserve a place at my table? And when it's someone that's really close to you, that's really hard, because you want that person in your life. But you have to set boundaries with these people. You have to set boundaries with people in your life that don't have your best interest at heart. In other areas of your life, it could be you got the opportunity to have a good job. You got the opportunity to be in a position that is going to be very beneficial to your lifestyle. More money, or maybe it's not more money. Maybe it's just you're going from working in the office to working a remote position that you really wanted to. You really wanted to work remote because it fits your lifestyle better. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's a promotion, or it is a different job entirely that's going to benefit you and it's going to add to your success. But say your best friend or someone in your life that you're close to tries to talk you out of it, or they want, they always do it in a way that they're worried about you. they're worried about you. They don't just come out and say, I don't want you to have that job because I don't want you to be more successful than me. This could be a parent. For instance, my mom worked her way. My mom was in mortgage banking until she retired. My mom worked her way from entry-level position. This is after my mom and dad divorced. I was 4 years old. Entry-level position, making at that time, this was like 1978, and I think she was making like $5,600 a year. She worked her ass off and she worked her way up. My grandmother had some kind of thing to say every time she got another promotion, every time she got a better job. My grandma had something. My grandma and my mom were like oil and water. They did not get along. And my grandma always had something to say, some kind of negativity, some kind of shit to say about her not, oh, you think you're better than everyone else. And that's a big one. People will say, oh, you think you're better than me now? No, I never said that. But because they are uncomfortable in their own situation, they're uncomfortable in their own bucket of suck, that they don't want you to succeed. They want you down there with them. So they might just be mean about it, like my grandmother was. Or they might, like I said, pretend like they're really concerned about you. Oh, well, that's a longer drive. Are you sure you want to do that? Oh, well, that's going to be more hours. Can you do that? And yeah, sometimes that might be a valid concern from the person, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be because they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to get any better. It could be something as little as you bought a new car. I've had this. Bought a new car. And okay, first of all, I never buy new cars. I don't. I buy used cars. New car depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot. And if it's a new, and Anthony knows how to work on anything, but say you buy a new car and you can afford this car. You can afford it. Your budget allows for this car payment, or maybe you paid cash for it, whatever. Your budget allows for that. You are perfectly fine financially in buying this car. And someone close to you will have something very negative to say. Or maybe they don't, they'll act like they don't like the car. Oh, why would you buy that? That doesn't seem to fit your lifestyle. Or, they'll do it in a concerned way. Oh, well, is that going to fit your whole family? Or, wow, that's really big for just one person. Or, some kind of shit. People have some shit to say about everything. Or maybe they'll say something like, in a kidding manner, oh, look at Miss Moneybags, got a new car. You know your friends, and if someone says something like that, if they're actually joking, which I have a sense of humor, or if they're saying it in a hurtful manner or a jealous manner. Jealousy is a very ugly, ugly thing. I can honestly say that I'm not jealous of anybody. Now, I'm envious. When I see someone, I'm envious in a very supportive way, as in, okay, my friend just bought this house and it's a beautiful house, and wow, that is an awesome house. But you know what? I'm like that with everyone. If someone close to me or someone is in my life that I care about and they're doing better, I'm happy. When I see my friends getting PR on this channel or on this platform, I'm so excited for them, because that means they're being successful. I am their cheerleader. I want them to succeed. I want everyone to be the best person that they can possibly be. Does that come with a little bit of envy? Sometimes. But a little envy is fine. I think a little envy is actually healthy, because that means you want something better. You want something more than what you have. The hard part, the very hard part, is actually achieving what you want. It's achieving the things that it's achieving your goals. That's hard. So when someone has something negative to say about you or to you, when you reach your goals, that is inexcusable. You cannot be friends, or that person does not deserve a place in your life. Now, sometimes, and I've talked about this before, you have family members that you don't want to interact with, and you don't have to. You don't have to. You can't, and so actually that was a little bit off topic, but this is on topic. The people that want you to interact with that person does not have your best interest at heart. They do not agree with you protecting your peace. So, again, you need to look at everyone. You need to look at them. You need to say, why is this person not wanting me to feel good? Why is this person not wanting me to be better? So going back to the car thing, they're going to make little remarks, and they're going to try to talk you out of your success. They're going to try to talk you out of your happiness about the car. They want you to regret buying the car because they want your car. And they're mad that you have it and they don't. And you cannot have a healthy relationship with those type of people. You can't. Again, everything always has to start with the hard conversation. That hard conversation, if it doesn't happen, then nothing's going to change. And if they don't want to have that hard conversation with you, then they're not worth your time to begin with. I got bit by something the other night. This was huge. It was like a big bite. I thought it was maybe a pimple or something, but it wasn't. It was a big bite. Spider? I don't even want to think about that. So you have the food thing. You have the money thing. You have the job thing. But this mentality goes with anything in your life. Maybe you're starting a new hobby. Now, starting a new hobby is very expensive. So if someone close to you says, that's really expensive, then they're not lying. It is. Like, my mom is one of those people that when she starts a new hobby, she jumps in with both feet and she buys everything that she can buy for that hobby. Scrapbooking, cross stitch, crocheting, like whatever it may be. And I think a lot of us are like that. I mean, makeup. This is my hobby. It all comes down to happiness. Like, do they want to see you happy? I have two best friends. One lives here and one doesn't. Leanna and Dina. Both of those women are my biggest cheerleaders. They are rooting me on from the sidelines, no matter what. I don't have people in my life that don't want me to succeed. I do not. I used to. I have in the past. Abso-freaking-lutely. Little by little, I have recognized what they're doing in my life. We've talked about the friends, and I will have a playlist down below of my Real Talk series where we talk about the hard things. There's one that I did a couple of, like 4 years ago, that's very similar to the one I did last year, but I just wanted to kind of refresh that whole thing. But anyway, I have let go of all of those people. So everyone in my life wants me to succeed. My mom is a great cheerleader. My daughter is my biggest fan. My daughter and Anthony are my biggest fans. And then, my friend circle, my very, very tiny friend circle. And it's the same. You need reciprocal. They need to reciprocate. So if you have a friend that you are constantly celebrating their new job, celebrating their new car, celebrating their new relationship, there's another one. Let's talk about that. And this is probably more so your friend circle. When you meet someone new and Your friends are going to scrutinize that person, and good for them. That you should have a friend group that and family that scrutinizes this new relationship, because you know people are shady. And again, not everyone has your best interest at heart. So maybe they don't feel like this new guy or this new girl has your best interest at heart. Maybe they're a gold digger. Maybe they want, maybe it's a man that has mommy issues that wants you to take care of them. Maybe they don't, maybe they're just not into their own success. And your friend group is going to find out whatever they can about that person. And that is great. That is a good friend group to have. They want you safe. They want you successful. Say he's a great guy or she's a great girl. She's a great, she's going to be a great partner for you. He's going to be a great partner for you. Then you might have a friend who tries to sabotage that relationship because they don't want to be alone. It's been you and her or you and him for years, and now you're spending time with someone else. And rather than be happy that you're finally happy, they're going to be in your ear saying, oh, well, he does this or he does that or he does this. I don't trust him. I think he's cheating on you. Blah, 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 blah. And, you start getting second thoughts in your head about, is this person right for me? Is she right? She's my friend. Of course she's going to tell me the truth. But is she though? Is she? Does she have ulterior motives? Does she just want you to be single and in the bucket of suck with her? Not that, okay, first of all, not that if you're single, you're in a bucket of suck, because no. Some people, people thrive being single. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you were unhappy being single. You found someone to share your life with, and now this person is jealous, and this person is trying to sabotage. That is what I'm talking about. I was perfectly fine being single. I loved my life being single. I just happened to meet someone that I fell deeply in love with. It's sickening. It really is. And my life is better than I ever thought it could be because of that person. Our work that we have done to build our life the way we have. So I'm not saying the single is bad. I'm just saying that there may be someone in your life that doesn't want you to have that because they don't have that. That's what I'm saying. Don't come at me. So before we go any further, before we do line our lashes and lips and finish our conversation, I've been using the Natasha Denona Golden Palette. I think I said that in the beginning. And I love this palette. And I love it so much that I have one for you. This is a super secret giveaway. Super sneaky giveaway. I can't remember what I've ever called them. Super sneaky giveaway. And please, in the comments below, don't allude to the fact that it's a giveaway. I want to reward the people that watch my videos, that watch them all the way through, that always have something beautiful to say to me. And yeah, I want to reward you. So what I want you to do, this is not affiliated with YouTube. This is not affiliated with Natasha Denona. Once the winner is chosen and it leaves my hands, I am no longer responsible for it being lost, stolen, broken, any of that. You have to be over 18 or have a parent's permission, but really, is anybody under 18 watching my videos? Probably not. This is open to US residents only. The tariffs will kill me and you if I ship this. So, down below, I want you to tell me something that you've done for yourself this week. Something that you've done for you. Down in the comments. It could be getting that special coffee. It could be, buying a mascara. It could be taking a nap. It could be doing skincare. It could be anything, something that you have done for yourself. When I read that, I will know who you are. You will all go in a wheel, and I will pick the winner in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today is the 29th of August. So on the 29th, I will choose my winner, and I will probably post it on the 30th of August, so the end of the month. Good luck. Let's do liner, lashes, and lips. That was fun. I love doing that. I don't have the opportunity to do that often, but I love doing that. So getting back to what we were saying. I'm trying to find my liner that I want to use. This one? When I do a neutral look, sometimes I love to have a pop of blue in my waterline, in my tight line. Thank you, Erin, for that. Thank you, Erin, for that idea. Appreciate it. But I don't know if I want to use this teal. This is Overdrive. This is LSD from Urban Decay. And this is NYX Gypsy Blue. Use this. No, I'm not. I'm going to use Overdrive. Now, getting back to our combo, just really need to pay attention to the people in your life and make sure that they have your best interest at heart. Now, you should not be the first thing they think about in the morning or the last thing they think about before they go to bed. You know, I'm not saying that you should be front and center on their mind every minute of the day. I'm just saying when there's something to celebrate, pay attention to who is celebrating with you, and then pay attention to the people that are in the back. Maybe they have on their face. I think I got some on my lid. I did. I'm just gonna put some over top of that. This is such a beautiful palette. So yeah, you just need to pay attention to how your friends act toward you when there is something to celebrate in your life. And then make sure that the people at your table are the ones that are celebrating with you. You know, I am not by any means a therapist. I just have life experience that I like to share with you. And I have gone through it. I've gone through it in my life. And everything that I've gone through has made me the strong woman that I am today. And I like to share that. Because sometimes we go through things that we don't know how to navigate, or we don't know, we take things at face value. Now, I don't mean to live your life in a cynical and jaded world, although I kind of do sometimes. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust people. And that, I don't just mean like on the internet. I just mean because it's really smart to not trust people on the internet. But I just mean in general, in life. I don't trust everyone. And that comes from basically being dragged through the mud. So I just am very selective of who I allow in my circle. I'm very selective of who I am rooting for and who I am being a cheerleader for. Because, I mean, we're almost done here, but I will touch on the fact that my ex-husband did not want me to be successful. Now, my ex-husband was not abusive. My ex-husband was not a bad person. He was content to live in his bucket of suck. And when I expressed my goals, my wants, my plans, my whatever, he had a very negative reaction to all of them. Because he didn't want me to succeed. He didn't want me to be better. He wanted me to need him. And that was our undoing. I wanted things in life. I wanted to be better. I wanted my life to be better. I wanted my daughter's life to be better. And that was ultimately our undoing. Now, we have stayed in touch because of my daughter. I mean, who's an adult now, but occasionally I will speak to him for whatever reason. But he did not want me to succeed. So sometimes the person that is closest to you is your biggest saboteur. That is a heartbreaking reality. and that causes some big feelings. I feel very 80s today. Very 80s, and I need to color my hair so badly. What you need to ask yourself when someone says something to you that just doesn't quite, it causes some spidey sense back there. You're like, wait, that was kind of rude. Do the people sitting with you at your table, do they have your best interest at heart? Do they celebrate every success with you? Do you feel jealousy from them when you talk about meeting a goal? These are all things that you need to really hone in on when you are taking inventory of the people that surround you. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.